After retiring from the martial arts world, I became a security guard. Due to an accident, I unexpectedly married a female CEO. However, the female CEO always thought that I was a useless loser, regretting how she ever took a liking to me. A security guard earning $1,800 a month. But gradually, she realized something was wrong. How dared a mere security guard have the richest man carry his shoes? Why did the underworld bosses all bow and scrape to him? Just now, he even slapped a general twice across the face. And the slap was the kind that echoed loudly. At this moment, a luxurious silver Bentley braked to a stop at the main gate. Old Wang, the security guard with sharp eyes, saw the beautiful woman getting out of the car, and immediately went up to greet her with an apologetic smile. "Miss, are you going home or looking for someone?" Wearing a long dress, a woman with a cold and stunning face stepped out of the luxury car and said, "I'm looking for someone. His name is Yun. He's an absolute scumbag. Tell him to roll over and see me right now." Hearing this, Old Wang was directly stunned. "Yun, a scumbag? What's the situation? That kid Yun is good for nothing except bragging. How could he make such a white swan come looking for him?" Just when Old Wang secretly thought it was impossible, I had already popped my head out of the security booth. "Which friend is looking for me? Let's get this straight first. If it's a foot massage, you're treating. I have no money. If it's visiting a club, forget it. I've already washed my hands of that." As I was shouting, my heart skipped a beat. Oh, crap. Isn't this chick the rich young lady who returned to the country half a month ago and had a night of wild indulgence with me? Back then, we agreed to go our separate ways, pull up our pants, and never see each other again. Why is she looking for me now? At this time, Susan coldly questioned, "Why didn't you answer my calls? Why didn't you reply to my messages?" Susan is the vice president of the Sioux Group in Jiangnan City, a bona fide wealthy young lady, regarded by countless animals as the pure goddess, a stunner in the human world. I looked at her and told the truth. I thought it was a scammer trying to cheat me of my money, so I pretended not to see it. The cold and arrogant young lady's aura fully unleashed, and she sneered, "With your income, is there even room for you to be scammed? Little security guard, get in the car. I have something to discuss with you." I remained unmoved. "Sorry, it's working hours right now. Just say directly whatever it is you have." Susan turned her head expressionlessly and said, "Fine, I'm pregnant. It's yours. Now, come with me." As soon as these words came out, I only felt my brain buzzing. Old Wang, who was watching the drama beside us, almost dropped his jaw. He looked at me as if I were a heavenly being. "Miss Susan, I think some jokes shouldn't be made so casually." My cheeks twitched violently, and I looked serious. "Moreover, what makes you think the child is mine?" Susan raised her delicate eyebrows slightly, and sneered, "Do you think I'm joking with you? Or do you think I'm looking for you to be a cuckold?" I asked back, "Isn't it so? I must clarify this kind of thing. Inexplicably becoming a father out of nowhere. I won't do it." Susan took a deep breath, suppressed the irritation in her heart, and threw over a document. "This is the hospital's test result. See for yourself." As soon as I looked, my teeth immediately ached. Damn it, this really went too far. A hit in one shot. I actually encountered this kind of thing. Seeing my speechless appearance, Susan seemed quite pleased. "Now that you have nothing to say, come with me." Seeing me not moving, Old Wang scolded, "What are you still standing there for? You kid have hooked up with a rich woman. The father becomes noble because of the child. From now on, you're going to soar to the top, eating the soft rice that everyone envies. Isn't it great?" Hearing this, I hurriedly got into the car and said in a deep voice, "Since the child is mine, then I will take full responsibility." Susan sneered and said, "You take responsibility? Do you know what my status is? And what is your status?" "A little security guard earning a few $1,000s a month. You probably still aren't clear about the gap between us. I'm afraid it's greater than heaven and earth." Without waiting for me to say anything, the woman coldly ordered, "I will have the child aborted. Now drive and take me to the hospital." I started the car and drove towards the hospital, but I felt very unhappy in my heart. "You want to abort the child? It's your right. I can't stop you. But I also want to tell you, if the child is born, supporting you mother and child won't be a problem for me." Susan laughed once and said nothing, but that contemptuous laughter had already explained everything. For a little security guard like me, it was simply wishful thinking. Soon, we arrived at the hospital, but Susan didn't get out of the car, just stared blankly outside. I said, "Let's go. I'll accompany you for the abortion." Mist had appeared in the female CEO's eyes at some point. She turned her head and glared at me fiercely, her eye sockets red, full of grievance and helplessness. "You are just a bastard." I was baffled. What crazy fit was this woman having again? But I still endured it. Who told me to knock her up? Susan is a person with a very strong personality, not allowing herself a moment of weakness. So she said, "Drive." She quickly wiped away her tears, and her makeup returned to being exquisite. I asked strangely, "Weren't you going to abort the child?" At this time, Susan spoke faintly. "I've changed my mind. I want to give birth to the child, but I can't let my child be born without a father. So let's go to the Civil Affairs Bureau. We're getting a marriage certificate." So I started the car again. Half an hour later, I looked at the little red booklet in my hand, full of bitter smiles. I'm married, confusedly creating a life, forced into a shotgun wedding. Originally, my marriage partner would at least have to be at the level of a European royal princess. But forget it now. The mother of the child looks quite pretty. pretty. Looking at those round buttocks, she will probably give birth to a son, not a loss. Susan walked over with arrogant steps, her high heels tapping the ground, full of imposing manner. Now you and I are officially husband and wife. I'll tell you 3 things. First, I got the certificate with you, entirely because of the child in my belly. As for you personally, there isn't a single thing I fancy, not even that thing in your pants. Susan continued to say. Second, you have no money, no good job, no family status, and no ability. After marrying into our Sioux family, you could only be considered a live-in son-in-law of my Sioux family. You have to listen to me in everything. Obey me. Third, stop doing that security guard job from now on. Come to the Sioux group to run errands for me, and learn to do some business. I don't want the child, after being born, to find out that his father is just someone who guards doors. I had long been suppressing a burst of evil fire in my heart. Although this woman was pregnant with my child, she was too presumptuous. I must teach her a lesson. Otherwise, if word gets out, others will say I can't even control a wife. Alright, I can work under your command. However, as a person, there are a few things I won't do at work. You must remember. Susan sneered. You're even being picky. Tell me, let me see how high the moral integrity of a security guard can be. I replied, first of all, jobs with no skill level, I absolutely won't do, because I can't learn anything. Secondly, what I don't know how to do, I definitely won't do, because if I don't know how to do it, how can I do it? Susan desperately suppressed the urge to slap me, and said, what else? Let's see what other tricks you can play. I spoke methodically. Third, jobs that are too urgent, I won't do. Haste makes waste. Fourth, jobs that aren't urgent, I won't do even more. It's not urgent anyway. Finally, what I don't want to do, I absolutely won't do. Susan felt she had found a weirdo, and laughed angrily. What you don't want to do, you absolutely won't do. May I know the reason for this? I looked as if it was a matter of course. You heard it too. I already said I won't do it, so why would I still do it, right? Susan took a deep breath, clenching her silver teeth tightly. At this moment, she wanted to kill someone, and seeing her plump breasts, heaved violently twice. I instantly felt great, little bitch, as if this young master can't handle you. Just then, the phone rang. It was from Susan's mother, Yang Huiru, aggressively. Shanshan, I called you so many times. Why didn't you answer? Your wedding with Jiahao is approaching. You child don't stay at home all day. Not a soul can be seen. Do you want to worry me and your dad to death? Come back quickly. Susan's tone was calm, as she said, I'll come back right now, but coming with me is your son-in-law, who is my husband. Yang Huiru's voice instantly rose 3 pitches. What did you say? Mom is telling you in advance. Don't mess around. You only have one husband, and that is Fong Jiahao from the Yulong group. Young Master Fong, you should be clear, for this arranged marriage, how much effort and cost our Su family has paid. In the end, the benefits are all yours. Don't be ungrateful. The corners of her mouth, where dimples were faintly visible, pulled into a mocking curve. Susan laughed at herself and said, grateful? A marriage arranged by the family, treating me as a sacrifice. And you ask me to be grateful? After saying that, she hung up the phone. But I could still hear the shrill questioning and scolding from the other end, sounding furiously angry. At this time, I looked at her, and said with some pity, let's go. I'll go back with you to meet your parents, and your family. Whatever happens, I'll take the heat. You don't need to worry, since we got the certificate. I'm a man, naturally I have to show some attitude. But Susan didn't appreciate it. She suddenly raised her head, tears welling in her eyes. Why do all you people force me? Why do you all make me do things I don't want to do? And you, what are you? Take the heat for me? Are you worthy? Do you have that capability? Do you know what status the Su family holds in Jiangnan City? The Fong family of the Yulong group, they can crush you with one finger. Understand? Yiyun, frankly speaking, you're just a little security guard. Useless. Living from hand to mouth. If not for the previous mishap, someone like you wouldn't even be able to touch my world in a lifetime. From now on, words like these that don't know the immensity of heaven and earth, you'd better say less. Otherwise, it will only make me look down on you. After a series of outbursts, she held her head and started sobbing. The things done today, especially Flash marrying me, for a conservative and proud rich young lady like her, was already crazy enough. And now, the family's troubles were pressing closer step by step. She finally broke down. I started the car, and sped away with a stomp on the gas pedal. I said lightly, don't cry anymore either. Soon you will know, the father of the child in your belly, is not a coward. As for what I just said, not a single word is false. What Su family? Fong family, honestly speaking, I've never put them in my eyes. Susan didn't listen at all. Before making up her mind to have this little security guard take responsibility, she had already used her connections to investigate me thoroughly. The little security guard was truly just a little security guard muddling along waiting for death. Aside from this, there was nothing remarkable. Zifu Haoding, a famous wealthy district in Jiangnan City. Susan's home was right here. On our way here, we didn't say a word. It wasn't until we walked into the house that we saw a house full of people, densely packed. The lineup was very grand. At this moment, Susan's cousin, Su Xian, who had a black mole on the corner of her mouth, sized me up disdainfully, and said to Susan, Shanshan, I just heard from second aunt that you were bringing a man back. Originally, with your high standards, I thought it would at least be a returnee from overseas, or a child of an official family. But you brought back a little security guard. This kind of trash. Can you swallow it? After saying that, she started laughing loudly on her own, the laughter extremely harsh. Susan remained unmoved, looked at her parents. Mom, Dad, his name is Yeon. We have already got the marriage certificate. From now on, he is my husband. Only a smack was heard. Before she could finish speaking, Yang Huiru, whose face was already ashen, rushed up in one stride, and slapped her across the face. Wicked daughter, are you trying to make me and your dad lose all our face? Will you only stop when you've angered us into our coffins? Pointing at Susan, Yang Huiru was full of anger, trembling all over. Susan covered the half of her face that had instantly swelled red, teardrops instantly swirling in her eyes. Mom, I know you're angry, thinking I'm messing around, but regarding the Fong family, I've considered it again and again. I don't want to marry. Yang Huiru roared, shouting viciously. A young master of a prominent family like Fong Jiahao, you don't fancy? His father is a prominent figure in our Jiangnan city, influential in both the underworld and the righteous paths. The mountain tiger, with such conditions. On one hand you refuse to agree, on the other you pick and choose. Then let me ask you now, this little security guard you brought back, a useless piece of trash, what does he have to compare with the Fong family? Susan choked, unable to say a single word. A little security guard like me, indeed had no qualifications to compare with the Fong family worth billions. Yang Huiru's eyes spat fire, wanting to curse further. Seeing this, I moved a step horizontally, blocking in front of Susan, my face already showing a bit of a bandit's aura. What's wrong with a little security guard? A little security guard also relies on his own hands to eat, not begging anyone. Moreover, Auntie, Susan is an adult now, and the vice president of the Su group. For you to lecture her in front of so many people, I think it's somewhat excessive. Susan's father, Su-won, slammed the teacup in his hand down heavily, with a gloomy face. Young man, aren't you afraid of biting your tongue when talking big? The daughter is ours. How to educate her is our business. An outsider has no right to interrupt. Yang Huiru followed up with a roar. That's right, little beast. Get out of the way. Let me tell you, my daughter is a phoenix in the sky, the favored daughter of the Su family. I don't care what magic potion you gave her. Don't even think about having any result between you two. I frowned, my face no longer showing banditry, but directly surfacing a murderous aura. I am fundamentally a demon king of chaos. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to cause international turmoil, and been thrown to this small place of Jiangnan to live leisurely. As for the Su family here, to tell the truth, apart from Susan, this goddess wife, the rest are just a bunch of nobodies. At this moment, Susan spoke with a miserable smile. Mom, Dad, it's useless no matter how much you make a scene, or say anything more. What kind of trash Fong Jiahao is? I know better than you. Perhaps after marrying into the Fong family, we could use their power and economic strength to strengthen our Su family. But these are not what I want. Besides, the Fong father and son are far more sinister than you think. Whether it's a blessing or a curse is hard to say. Yang Huiru jumped in anger, and said hatefully, Good, good, good. The good intentions of me and your dad, and the entire Su family, have been completely ruined by you. Since that's the case, I won't care anymore, and I can't control you either. Whatever you want to do, willingly falling into depravity, do as you please. Hearing these words, Susan instantly softened, her beautiful eyes filled with tears as she said, Mom, Dad, I'm sorry, your daughter has disappointed you. I didn't expect to be with him for long either. I just thought he could help me stop the gossip. At least the family won't. And Fong Jiahao won't pester me endlessly anymore. Su-won waved his hand to shoo people away. Since your mind is already made up here, then saying anything more is superfluous. As for the Fong family, your mom and I have no face to see them anymore. Shan, you go and handle it. It just so happens that young Master Fong has become independent, and left the Fong family to open a new company himself. Remember to bring a heavy gift over, to express congratulations on behalf of the Su family, and cancel the engagement by the way. Susan pursed her lips and agreed. Then she walked out the door and left. As soon as she got out of the Su family, she lost all her strength, and almost fell. I supported her, with a face full of concern. Susan broke free, and said with a cold face, without my permission in the future, don't touch me lightly. I spread my hands and said, I saw you were about to fall. That's why I supported you. Don't misunderstand. Susan snorted coldly. Yeon, I'll tell you the truth as well. I sought you out just because I need an obedient shield. Other than that, sorry, I don't fancy anything about you. To Susan's surprise, I didn't get angry, but had a placid face, and even said with a chuckle, I know, just like me getting the certificate with you. Actually can't be said to be out of fancy either. It's really because there's no other way. A baby has been made. I have to take responsibility. Susan felt inexplicably irritable. Suit yourself. In her heart, not seeing me hurt, or my self-esteem trampled, she felt very uncomfortable. You come with me to young Master Fong's new company opening reception. An ugly daughter-in-law has to be brought out to meet her parents-in-law sooner or later. A live-in son-in-law is the same. Saying that, she took out a card, and handed it to me like a tip. Take it. Go buy a decent suit to wear. I didn't even glance at it, and said, said, no need. I have one myself. Susan sneered, thinking I was being stubborn. Putting on an act. A little security guard having a designer suit? That would be a ghost story. After that, I turned and left the Sioux family. Arrived at the street, I pulled open the back door of the Rolls-Royce that had been waiting for a long time, and sat inside. If anyone knowledgeable saw this scene, they would probably drop their jaws in shock, because this Rolls-Royce was the exclusive vehicle of the richest man in Jiangnan City. And right now, the richest man in Jiangnan City, the incredibly wealthy Lu Chuanhu, was acting as a driver for me. At this moment, Lu Chuanhu was seen bowing respectfully to me, and asking, Commander Yun, are you going home or somewhere else? I looked at him, and said, go home first. I'll change into a suit, and accompany my wife to a reception later. Lu Chuanhu's hand that started the car trembled, extremely astonished. Wife? Commander Yun, are you single? When did you get married? I smiled bitterly and said, just today, just now. Sigh. It's a long story. Lu Chuanhu even shivered. Commander Yun, please don't joke around. If the higher-ups know that you're in Jiangnan City, and hastily handled your marriage, then old man Lu here will probably suffer the consequences. I smiled bitterly and said, old Lu, I'm sorry. I've already messed around, and even created a human life. Sigh. I didn't expect my words to be so spot on. Lu Chuanhu flew into a rage. Commander Yun, may I ask which family's daughter it is? I will use my connections right away to make her get an abortion. She can forget about climbing our social ladder. I waved my hand and said, no, I've already said it. Don't do that bullying with power stuff. It's meaningless. Lu Chuanhu, however, was deeply worried. Although Commander Yun is invincible in battle, a pillar of the nation, but he is still young after all. Too full of youthful vigor. To put it bluntly, he can't control what's in his pants, giving a cheap advantage to another woman for nothing. Damn it, if I had known earlier, I would have let my granddaughters make a move at all costs. If even one of them succeeded, smoke would rise from his Lu family's ancestral graves. Afterward, I returned home, changed into a decent suit, and rushed to the cocktail party. As the evening lights were lit, the cocktail party hosted by the eldest young master of the Fong family was at a luxurious manor in the west of the city. I parked the car, and trotted over to open the door for Susan. The female CEO took my hand and got out of the car, glanced at me a few times, with a strange look in her eyes. I didn't expect this little security guard to look like this after changing into a suit. He actually looks somewhat handsome, she thought to herself. Then we both entered the cocktail party. The party was just beginning. Glamorously dressed men and women mingled within. Tonight's host was Yulong Group. Young Master Fong, immaculately dressed, arrived late. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm late. I'll penalize myself with 3 cups. Then, very elegantly and boldly, he picked up his glass and downed 3 cups, drawing a round of applause, especially from several smitten women, who clapped and screamed. I, however, curled my lip. This guy is boring. Susan frowned a little upon hearing this. Susan's best friend, Su Yuer, sneered from the side. He is boring? So you mean you are the interesting one? She thought I was jealous seeing someone else in the spotlight. To say such things, I said, those 3 cups he drank were not wine at all, but plain water. It's obviously just putting on an act. This kind of person acts one way on the surface, and another way behind your back. To be honest, not worth befriending. Su Yuer scoffed. You shouldn't judge a gentleman's belly with a petty man's heart. Although Susan and I don't really like Fong Jiahao, he is countless times better compared to you. Such a despicable thing he wouldn't stoop to do. I said lightly, if you don't believe me, we can wait and see. Right at this moment, immaculately dressed, young Master Fong walked over with a smile on his face, holding a wine glass. Susan, you are welcome and thank you for supporting me. Come, I'll toast you 2 beautiful ladies. As for me standing on the side, he automatically ignored me. Su Yuer smiled and said, congratulations, young Master Fong, for starting your own company. Truly a top-tier young talent of Jiangnan. Yet there is someone who can't be presented in public, saying that what's in your glass is plain water. Such a thing is just baffling. The smile on Fong Jiao's face froze instantly. He then explained, I can hide it from others, but not from you 2 smart and beautiful ladies. That's right, what I drank was indeed plain water. I've been working day and night for the new company lately. My body really can't take it, so I dare not drink alcohol. Su Yuer was instantly stunned by this, and Susan also glanced at me in surprise. This guy is quite sharp. He even noticed that. I said indifferently, I'm afraid young Master Fong's body wasn't worn out by working for the company. The reason he dares not drink is purely due to excessive indulgence, severe kidney depletion. If stimulated by alcohol, his lower body could suffer severe bleeding and burst at any time. I wonder if what I said is correct or not. Fong Jiao's face instantly turned cold and gloomy. He looked at me with shock and suspicion. Where did this dog jump out from? To have investigated me so clearly, this brother must be joking. I am a serious workaholic. Where would I have the time to indulge? Besides, Besides, Susan and I are already engaged. From now on, there is only her in my heart. Lying through his teeth, without blushing or skipping a heartbeat. Su Yuer was scared half to death. She didn't expect I would dare to speak so disrespectfully to Fong Jiahao. Isn't this actively seeking death? Young Master Fong, just ignore him. We don't know this person. She turned her head and glared at me fiercely. The warning was obvious, hoping I'd be tactful. If Fong Jiahao knew the relationship between me and Susan, he would definitely skin me alive. As for Susan, she obviously noticed the abnormality in Fong Jiahao's expression. It seemed my words had hit the mark. A hint of disgust appeared in her beautiful eyes. She said lightly, "Young Master Fong, you'd better take good care of your health. I came today. Besides congratulating you, young Master Fong, there is one more thing. The engagement between us two. I want to cancel it." Saying that, she pointed at me. "Young Master Fong, this is my husband. We have already gotten our marriage certificate, and I am already pregnant with his child." Only a loud bang was heard. The wine glass in Fong Jiao's hand was crushed directly under his immense grip. His eyes instantly turned bloodshot. He raised his hand, wanting to slap Susan across the face, but he restrained himself. He gritted his teeth and smiled fiercely. "Susan, I know that all along. You have been somewhat resistant to me, but dragging in such a nobody to brush me off. Don't you think it's a bit inadequate?" Susan said seriously. "I'm not brushing you off. Yi Yun and I got our marriage certificate today, and I am already pregnant with his child." Fong Jiahao roared loudly. "Shut up, now that it's all been settled. Do you think saying this is of any use? I'm telling you, alive, you could only be my Fong family's person. Dead, you could only be my Fong family's ghost." Susan was furious. Su Yuer hurriedly smiled apologetically. "Young Master Fong, don't get angry first. Calm down. Today is your company's cocktail party. So many celebrities of Jiangnan are watching." Fong Jiahao was extremely irritable. He violently tore open his tie, pointed at me. "Want me to calm down? Fine. This little punk, I don't care what he is. Kneel down for me, kowtow 3 times, and offer 3 cups of wine. Then this matter will be over. Otherwise he won't walk out of my Fong family's manor." At this time Susan said coldly, "Yi Yun may have no status or qualifications, but right now he is Susan's man. Since he is my man, kneeling down to you, that is impossible." Su Yuer was burning with anxiety, and said, "Susan, you should say a few words less. If you keep doing this, it will only make young Master Fong even more unwilling to let this little security guard go." I scoffed, and said disdainfully, "Wife, since we have made things clear, let's go. With someone whose lower body is almost rotten from playing around, it's best not to stay long. I'm afraid of being infected by him." Watching the woman he had desired for so long just walk away with me like this, Fong Jiao's face instantly became twisted. "Bitch, you asked for it." Therefore, he directly beckoned the 2 large men standing nearby. With a ruthless look on his face, he said, "I don't want to see that little bastard live to see tomorrow's sun." The 2 burly men nodded immediately, and agreed. At this time, in the car on our way back, Su Yuer was very worried, and said, "Susan, you acted too impulsively by doing this. The Fong family has always operated in both the underworld and the lawful world. Their methods are ruthless. Slapping Fong Jiao's face like this, he will definitely not let this go easily." Susan took a deep breath. "I'm not afraid. He is just an animal." Su Yuer joked, "You are not afraid. Fong Jiahao is too busy sucking up to you. He definitely won't do anything to you. But this little security guard, I'll tell the truth. He is finished." At this time, I was seen slowly saying, "Rest assured, the person who can finish me in this world hasn't been born yet." Su Yuer shook her head directly. "Susan, this cheap husband of yours seems to have something wrong with his brain. He is hopeless." Susan's face was also a bit cold. "Yi Yun, remember that you are no longer a little security guard now, but my husband in name. You better change that bad habit of bragging. Otherwise you will only make a fool of yourself." Then I slammed on the brakes. Both beautiful ladies were thrown forward, and were quite frightened. Su Yuer shouted angrily, "What are you doing? Can't even drive a car properly. You useless trash." I got out of the car and said lightly, "You 2 stay in the car. Don't come down." The 2 women didn't understand why. They didn't know what crazy fit this little security guard was having. A van rapidly caught up from behind, and braked suddenly. The car door slid open. A buzzcut man with an expressionless face. "Little punk, young Master Fong wants your life. Sorry about this." He raised a club and swung it at my head. Inside the Bentley, Su Yuer let out a scream. "Oh no, it's Fong Jiao's men." Susan gritted her teeth. I didn't expect this bastard to strike so quickly, but in the next second, both women's beautiful eyes widened simultaneously. They saw me grab the club backhandedly, and snatch it away swiftly. With a whoosh sound, the iron club swung with fierce momentum. With a bang, it directly smashed the strong man's head open, leaving his head split and bleeding. 3 more burly men jumped out of the van. "You dare fight back? You piece of trash." None of them expected this little security guard to actually have some skills. I looked calm. The iron club in my hand lashed out continuously. Bang, bang, bang. The remaining 3 men, though full of lean muscle and fierce looking, who usually did a lot of dirty deeds for the Fong family. But at this moment, in just the time of 2 breaths, they were all lying on the ground wailing in pain. I threw the iron club away, lifted my foot and casually stepped on one of the men's big faces. Go back and tell young Master Fong. Playing with fire can easily get oneself burned. I got in the car again, stepped on the gas and left. Without any hesitation. Su Yuer and Susan were still immersed in the scene just now, unable to snap out of it. After a long while, Su Yuer was somewhat surprised, and said one sentence. Yi Yun, have you trained before? I shrugged and said, just cleaning up a few bugs. No training needed. Susan frowned slightly. She doesn't know martial arts, but those few moves of mine just now looked extraordinary no matter how you saw them. Is this guy really just a gatekeeper? In the evening, Susan returned home. Susan asked immediately, Susan, with the Fong family, have you made things clear? Susan said, Dad, I have already broken off the engagement with Fong Jiahao. Yang Huiru said furiously, you are simply confused. Stupid. Susan, are you really going to be so crazy as to live your life with a lowly security guard? Susan said weakly, and said, I've told you time and time again, I have no feelings for Yi Yun whatsoever. Everything right now is just for the child in my belly, and I also need a shield to keep flies like Fong Jiahao away. Yang Huiru still felt angry. Susan, my love for you was wasted. Even if you went to a club to indulge with a male model, I could endure it, but you actually got pregnant with a little security guard seed. By doing this, where does it leave my face, your dad's face, and the Su family's face? Susan suddenly stopped talking. Her eyes reddened slightly. That night of indulgence was partly due to alcohol, and partly due to her own self-abandonment. Suwon coughed to persuade his wife. Susan has been a smart and self-respecting girl since she was little. We know this well. Don't ask her about this anymore. The priority right now is to think of a way to see how we can prevent this family scandal from spreading out. Yang Huiru crossed her arms and said fiercely, think of a way? Think of a bullshit way. She obviously could have found a wealthy son-in-law, yet she was picked up by a dung beetle. Susan stopped listening to their nagging and simply went straight back to her room to video call her best friend Su Yuer. Yuer, what's wrong? Why do you look so depressed? In the video, Su Yuer looked listless, half dead, only to hear Su Yuer reply, Susan, don't mention it. I just got scolded. Do you remember I told you before that a mysterious big shot came to our Jiangnan city? I just went to visit her again with thick skin, and as a result she said I have a foul mouth, and that my pretty face is wasted on me. She told me to stop bothering her. I really can't figure it out. How do I have a foul mouth? All along, I have been very careful with her, and very polite, okay? Susan immediately stood up against the injustice for her best friend. This person is really rude. Even if she has a big background, she shouldn't speak to a girl like that. Some other day, you and I will go reason with her. Su Yuer wiped her tears, and said, forget it. I have to serve her well, hoping that one day I can see her true face. My grandpa said, if I can catch the eye of this mysterious commander, in the future, 3 generations of my Su family won't have to do anything. Just lie around eating and drinking well. Wealth and prosperity will be guaranteed. Susan was very surprised. What rank is this mysterious commander? To be so awesome? Su Yuer smiled. Wait until I understand her a little more deeply. Then I'll tell you. Then the two hung up the video call and went to sleep. Early the next day, I received a phone call. Susan wanted me to dress neatly and clean myself up. Su Yuer drove to a club and got out. 2 young men dressed in designer brands walked up smiling. Yuer, Susan, you're here. Heh, who is this? When they saw me getting out of the car, the 2 young masters' faces instantly turned sour. Su Yuer chuckled and lied. Young Master Zhao, young Master Wang. This person is a friend of mine and Susan's. From the countryside. Hasn't seen much of the world. You don't need to mind him. Zhao Zishuan, who has the reputation of being one of the 4 great young masters of Jiangnan, smiled without caring. Since he is your friend, then let's hang out together. The other one, young Master Wang, glanced at me and sneered through his nostrils, very disdainfully. Su Yuer fell 2 steps behind and warned me, you've probably never been to this kind of occasion, right? It doesn't matter. Come a few more times. Observe more and learn more, and you'll be fine. I only have one requirement. You cannot embarrass me and Susan. Understand? I looked indifferent. Isn't it just a private club? What's there to play in this crappy place? Su Yuer let out a cold laugh. Crappy place? Do you know what the admission requirement is here? 2 million. Little security guard. It scares you to death. Zhao Zishuan was extremely attentive to Su Yuer. That simp-like behavior almost made me unable to watch. Yuer, come, let's practice. Su Yuer geared up and jumped into the ring, and immediately started sparring with Zhao Zishuan. I only felt bored. These rich kids with full bellies and nothing to do, all like to shoot arrows, play boxing, play golf, trying to be cultured. Susan changed into a white and blue training suit. Her fair feet stepped on the ring. She shouted at me, Yi Yun, come up and spar with me. I shook my head and said, if you want to exercise, I can teach you authentic Tai Chi and some health-preserving boxing techniques. Taekwondo is a foreign thing, nothing but flashy moves without substance. It's far worse than our dragon country's own martial arts. This remark was heard by young Master Wang, who immediately sneered. This little brother talks really big, so you must feel you are very capable. I glanced at him, at least more capable than a piece of trash like you, hollowed out by wine and women. Young Master Wang's face changed. He sneered endlessly. I didn't expect you to be somewhat arrogant. Then how about we play a little? I shook my head. Forget it. I'm afraid I'll cripple you. Susan shouted. Yi Yun, watch what you say. Don't be so aggressive all the time. I curled my lip. To you, I can be polite. But to these bugs, why should I give him face? Have you ever seen an eagle in the sky be polite to a sparrow on the ground? This is my temper. 30% banditry, 30% ferocity, plus 50% rarely revealed killing intent. Once, even a martial arts grandmaster of the dragon country couldn't help but sigh. This child is very different from ordinary people. Others have 10 parts aura, but he has one extra part, and this one part is something even the king of heaven cannot control. It's enough to overturn rivers and seas. Zhao Zishuan and Su Yuer finished sparring, and walked over. What's wrong, young Master Wang? Why are you so red in the face? Young Master Wang pointed at me and said, young Master Zhao, it's not that I don't give you. And Miss Su face. It's really that this fucker talks too arrogantly, saying that the taekwondo we practice is garbage. Don't you think this is asking for a beating? Zhao Zishuan's face suddenly sank. Susan, for your sake, just this once, you should know. In taekwondo, young Master Wang and I have put in so much sweat and hard work. Our efforts are something no one has the right to trample on, especially a reckless young fool who knows nothing. Su Yuer's face was gloomy. Yi Yun apologized to young Master Zhao and the others immediately, looking down on other people's efforts. Don't you find it ridiculous? I looked up at the sky. Apologize? Sorry. When dealing with weaklings, I don't have the habit of apologizing. Su Yuer got furious and said to Susan, Susan, I have no other way. I kindly brought him here to broaden his horizons. I didn't expect him to be like mud that can't be plastered on a wall, embarrassing us here. Before Susan could say anything, a sinister smile flashed in Zhao Zishuan's eyes. He said playfully, then why not let young Master Wang play nicely with this brother? He acts so high and mighty. He must be an expert. Susan immediately refused. Better not. Young Master Wang is a professional, and a 6th-degree black belt expert. Yi Yun is no match for him. Young Master Wang jumped onto the ring, made a couple of showy gestures. Don't worry, although this kid needs a beating, but for the sake of you two beautiful ladies, I won't hurt him. He then looked at me and joked, do you dare to play a few rounds? Or are you just all talk, but actually a coward? Seeing me frown, Su Yuer said coldly, Yi Yun, if you are still a man, then accept the challenge. Susan and I are not afraid of you losing. We're just afraid you don't even have the courage to be a man. I was a bit impatient. Fine, I can make a move and teach this kid the sinister nature of the world. But who will pay for the medical bills? Zhao Zishuan immediately laughed disdainfully. So you're afraid of being crippled and having no money for the hospital? Haha, don't worry. If you get a few bumps and bruises, this young master, will pay to compensate you. Su Yuer couldn't help shaking her head. Susan, this guy is too useless. So embarrassing. Susan also felt a bit embarrassed. I let out a cold laugh and didn't even have the mood to explain. I vaulted onto the ring. I put one hand in my pocket, leaving only one hand out. Come on, let's finish the fight early so we can call it a day early. Young Master Wang's eyes spewed fire. This idiot is being so pretentious. I must take half his life. With 2 standard quick steps, he approached me and then launched a flying kick, aiming straight for my temple. Zhao Zishuan showed a smile as if the outcome was already sealed. Young Master Wang is at the level of a 6th-degree black belt. He can easily take down 3 or 5 ordinary men. This kid actually had some foresight, knowing to ask me for medical fees. As soon as his words fell, a miserable scream was accompanied by a dull thud. On the ring, I had one hand in my pocket, not even knowing what an opponent was, and my opponent had already flown off the ring. The foot that struck so ruthlessly was nearly broken and swelled up high. Susan and Su Yuer were dumbfounded. What's the situation? What happened? Zhao Zishuan's smile instantly froze on his face. Young Master Wang wailed below the stage. Quick, take me to the hospital. Young Master Zhao, quick, my leg is broken. Zhao Zishuan's face twitched violently. Only then did he realize in hindsight. It turns out the medical expenses this little punk mentioned preparing earlier were prepared for young Master Wang. Damn it, he let him show off. So he quickly called the club staff over to carry young Master Wang away. Zhao Zishuan looked gloomy and jumped onto the ring. Brother Yi, I couldn't tell you actually have some skills. Young Master Wang didn't learn his skills well. He can be considered my junior brother. Now, as his senior brother, I will experience your brilliant moves. Susan hurriedly said, no way. Su Yuer also said, let's just forget it. Young Master Zhao, you are a black belt 8th Dan expert, an award-winning taekwondo genius. How could Yi Yun be your opponent? Zhao Zishuan snorted coldly aggressively, just letting it go after injuring someone. That won't do. No matter what, this kid has to practice with me a bit. Otherwise, we'll do it by the rules. Kneel on the ground and count out 3 times and 9 times to show submission. Both Susan and the other girl frowned. This Zhao Zishuan is somewhat overbearing. At this time, I still kept one hand in my pocket and prepared to walk down the ring. Zhao Zishuan took a step sideways. His face was cold and stern. It's not that easy to leave. At this moment, I was seen slapping out with one palm, directly slapping this idiot's shoulder. With a bang, Zhao Zishuan fell face down and had a dead angle-free kiss with the ring. The pain pierced to the bone. His face was distorted. I stepped on his back with my leg and walked down the ring unhurriedly, dawdling. Taekwondo black belt 8th dan. Is that it? Is that it? These 2 disdainful words left Susan and Su Yu dumbfounded on the spot. If my one move defeated young Master Wang just now, could be considered a coincidence. But Zhao Zishuan is a certified black belt 8th dan expert, and also holds a titular position as a coach in the club. Even such a ruthless person couldn't withstand my one-slap discipline. Could this guy be the reincarnation of Li Yuanba? After lying in the infirmary groaning for half an hour, Zhao Zishuan finally recovered his strength, looking fierce. This little bastard. I must cripple him. Damn it, he actually made this young master lose such a big face. At this moment, Susan, Su Yu, and I arrived at the racecourse. The stands were already densely packed with many people. All of them were wealthy people in Jiangnan City. Su Yu said excitedly, Shan, the most attractive thing about this club is horse racing. How about it? Let's play a couple of rounds. It's very exciting. Susan smiled. I mainly brought Yi out to broaden his horizons. You play. We'll watch you play. Su Yu snorted softly and showed off to me. Little security guard, you only have brute strength. You can't establish yourself in upper-class society. Horse racing is played by people with real taste and style. Later this lady will play. You learn a bit. I curled my lips and looked up at the sky. Susan next to me was sweating profusely, and also couldn't stand the heat. It just so happened that there were a few sun umbrellas placed on the edge of the stands. I walked over, pulled one out, and walked away. Stand in here. You girl's skin can't stand the sun. Seeing me inviting her, Susan blushed, but still subconsciously refused. I said grumpily, don't stubbornly hold out. Look at your skin getting red from the sun. Such fair and tender skin. It won't look good if it gets tanned. Feeling it suddenly become cool and shady overhead, Susan didn't say anything verbally, but she felt somewhat happy in her heart. This little security guard is quite good at taking care of people. It's just that the distance between the two of us seems a bit too close. I said to her, horse number 8 will definitely win. Susan looked towards the field. 10 racehorses were galloping at full speed. It was temporarily impossible to tell who would win or lose. And in front of the stands, a group of people were dancing with joy, all cheering for the racehorses they bet on. Susan asked, how do you know horse number 8 will definitely win? I looked indifferent. I guessed. Soon, this horse race ended. The winner was loudly broadcasted over the radio. Horse number 8 took the first place. Susan was suddenly a bit surprised. You actually guessed it right. Su Yu ran back. Sigh. What bad luck. The number 5 I bet on almost won. I didn't expect number 8 to win. Shan, come quickly. Let's go to the front. Old President Wu of the Antique Association is also here today. He is the big shot in our Jiangnan city who loves horse racing the most. Let's go listen to his brilliant opinions. Susan glanced at me, secretly thinking this guy must have guessed blindly just now. A little security guard like him. How could he understand the games of these upper-class people? So they came to the front row. An old man with gray hair and a long gown said with a smile, so it's you two girls. Why are you also interested in horse racing? Su Yu said playfully, Old master, we are here to follow you. Whichever horse you bet on, I will follow and bet on. Wu Tianshan laughed heartily. You girl from the Su family, you are quite a smart one, but since you lass have good judgment, following this old man me, I guarantee you will win a lot of pocket money. A group of people nearby quickly flattered him. That's right, the old president is a professional at horse racing. There are few in our Jiangnan city who can compare. Isn't that so? The old master is not only a master of antiques, his horse racing skills are also at the ceiling level. Say no more. Just following the old president to bet is right, guaranteed to make a fortune. The gates opened. 10 racehorses galloped out wildly again. Wu Tianshan, being highly praised, stroked his beard and waved his hand. Horse number 3, take this round. The people nearby quickly followed suit and placed their bets. Su Yu also bet 5,000 yuan on it. At this time, a discordant voice sounded. The winner of this round should be number 9. Suddenly everyone looked over. Who is this guy? How dare he show off his slight skill in front of old Master Wu? Su Yu was startled and blamed. Yi Yun, if you don't understand, don't talk nonsense. She was really speechless. What is this guy talking nonsense about? Could he possibly be wiser than old Master Wu? Wu Tianshan, on the other hand, glanced at me, still smiling. saying, "Young man, your judgment is still not sharp enough. This old man will give you a piece of advice. You still need to practice." Susan didn't utter a word. She wanted to see if I could still be a blind cat encountering a dead mouse in this round. Following the whistle, this horse race ended. The radio announced the winner. Horse number 9 bravely took the first place. The stands that were just noisy suddenly became quiet. Pairs of eyeballs, probably no less than 100, stared over towards me here, all greatly puzzled. Damn, this kid actually guessed it right again. Su Yuer's small mouth opened slightly. This, Yi-yun, how did you know horse number 9 would win? Susan was also uncertain and suspicious. She glanced at me. This guy won 2 consecutive rounds. Could it really just be based on luck? She felt this was highly unlikely. Wu Tianchun snorted coldly. Young man, your dog shit luck is quite good. How about we play another round? I shook my head. Better forget it. Old gentleman, I will return your words just now completely back to you. You still need to practice. Wu Tianchun's eyelids twitched wildly. He was so angry his nose was crooked. He shouted, "Bastard. I have played horse racing for more than 30 years. I really have never seen someone as arrogant as you. Come again. Let's compete again. Today, I must properly dampen your young man's spirit." The lackeys nearby also had angry looks on their faces. That's right. Keep competing. Young people get a bit of luck and don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. When Elder Wu was playing horse racing, you kid were still wetting the bed. Let's have another round. If you kid can win against Elder Wu, I will roll away on the spot. I looked at Susan and said, "Wifey, I'll win some cosmetic money for you. Lend me 2,000, and I'll return you 100,000. Susan's cheeks flushed, but she wasn't angry. Instead, she felt very proud. If I could really win, and against a big shot like Wu Tianchun, then she didn't care about the money at all. But her woman's vanity was greatly satisfied. Okay, then I'll give you 2,000. A new round of horse racing started again. 10 fine horses rushed out of the fences, their hooves flying. Wu Tianchun narrowed his eyes. After confirming there were no problems, he made a final decision. Bet on horse number 6. At this time, my face was calm, and bet 2,000 yuan on horse number 1. Su Yuer rolled her eyes, and followed suit. I'll bet 20,000. Also on horse number 1. The finish line was in sight. Everyone craned their necks waiting for the outcome to appear. At this time, only the passionate broadcasting voice on the radio was heard. Horse number 1 bravely wins the crown. After the broadcast, the 100 or so people surrounding Wu Tianchun's small circle all became sluggish in unison. They all stared blankly at me, as if seeing a ghost. Su Yuer couldn't believe it, and said, "Horse number 1 actually won. Yi-yun, you are simply a genius at horse racing. Haha, we are rich." She danced with excitement, and even hugged my arm and shook it hard. My expression was odd. This girl's inventory on her chest is quite abundant. Susan has a reserved personality, but she also couldn't help blushing slightly from excitement. Her gaze towards me changed greatly. However, when she saw her good best friend being so close to me, she frowned her delicate eyebrows imperceptibly. The settlement results came out quickly. With a 2,000 bet, I got back 180,000 in this round. The odds were so high that even I was a bit surprised. Wu Tianchun's old face twitched. He gave a dry laugh. Young man's luck is just good. 2 consecutive wins. It is enough for you to be proud. The other silent sycophants immediately flattered wildly. That's right. This kid's luck really is stepping on dog shit. But momentary dog shit luck proves nothing. Elder Wu's exquisite skills are the role model for our generation. I shrugged, and didn't want to talk nonsense with these boring people at all. Seeing me turning around to leave, Wu Tianchun hurriedly shouted, "Little friend, let's play one last round. If you can still beat me, I will be completely convinced by you." I smiled, and said, "I think there is no need for that, because if we continue to play, not to mention one round, even if it's 10 rounds, you, old master, will definitely lose without a doubt." Wu Tianchun laughed in extreme anger. "Kid, what a rampant tone you have. I have played horse racing for so many years. In this Jiangnan city and even the whole Nan province, no one has ever dared to be as arrogant as you." I shrugged, and said, "Then could it be that everyone who plays horse racing in the entire Nan province is not worth mentioning to me?" With a boom, the surrounding people exploded. Damn it, this silly kid is acting so pretentious. Too damn pretentious. He must be taught a lesson. Severely taught a lesson. Even if the King of Heaven comes, we must properly cure him. It's a good thing for young people to have courage, but not knowing humility destines a miserable defeat. Wu Tianchun was so stifled with anger that his eyeballs were about to pop out of their sockets. Then he roared loudly, "If you can still win this last round, I will never step into the racecourse again from now on, and I will grant you an opportunity to lead you to rapid advancement in your career in Jiangnan City from now on, to eat well and drink well." As soon as these words came out, the surrounding surrounding sycophants, all revealed looks of envy and jealousy. To get the appreciation of a big shot like the president of the Antique Association, Wu Tianchun, this is a direct opportunity for a meteoric rise. You must know that this old man is extremely wealthy in Jiangnan City, a figure who can rank in the top 3. After a brief sluggishness, Susan and Su Yuer quickly winked at me. Hurry up and thank the old master. What are you still standing there for? Yi Yun, you got this promise from Elder Wu. Do you know? From now on, you will become famous in one fell swoop in Jiangnan City. However, what stunned everyone was, I acted as if the clouds were light and the wind was gentle, and even somewhat disapproving. Alright, then let's play one more round. But I'll only play this last round. Playing with someone whose rank is too far apart. You know, it's easy to lose interest. Faces immediately became extremely wonderful, staring at me fixedly, wishing they could slap my big mouth wildly. This bastard is too arrogant. They really had never seen someone so overwhelmingly cocky. Wu Tianchun only felt a pain in his chest. He must let you know what it means that ginger is still spicier when it's old. A new round of horse racing was about to begin. Everyone held their breath and looked at Wu Tianchun, waiting for him to issue orders. Kid, in this round, my lucky horse is on the field. Your previous good luck has come to an end. He first made 2 high-profile declarations to me before Wu Tianchun placed his bet. Horse number 10. Gentlemen, accompany me to battle once more. Su Yuer looked at me eagerly. Yi Yun, what about us? Quick, let's place our bets too. I shook my head and sighed. Horse number 2. Looks like I'm going to win over 100,000 into my pocket again. If I knew rich people were so silly, why would I be a security guard? I could just bring a sack here every day to pick up money. Hearing this, many people almost vomited blood on the spot. These words were too infuriating, truly too disgusting. Wu Tianchun's old eyes were red. He shouted loudly, Kid, if you can still win, I will toast to you and admit defeat on the spot. From now on, I will take a detour when I see you. Following a whistle, 10 fine horses galloped out. The number 10 horse that Wu Tianchun bet on took the lead, with a strong momentum, while the number 2 horse I bet on was only ranked 3rd, not even 2nd. At this time on the radio, the host began broadcasting passionately. The finish line is in sight. Horse number 2 begins to exert force, surpasses number 7 to rank 2nd. Horse number 2 continues to sprint. Incredible. Horse number 2 actually overtakes at the last moment, suppressing the strong number 10 to take first place. Wonderful. Let's congratulate horse number 2 for winning the crown. You could hear a pin drop in front of the stands. Apart from the host's passionate roaring, Wu Tianchun and the others couldn't utter a single word. Each one stiffened on the spot. Not only them, even the 2 beauties Susan and Su Yuer also had faces full of disbelief. Yi Yun actually won again, solidly beating the veteran Wu Tianchun consecutively. 3 rounds, without the slightest bit of falsehood. Wu Tianchun broke the silence first, with a face full of bitterness. He cupped his fists towards me. I admire you. I, apart from admiration, have nothing else to say. Wu Tianchun's Jianghu etiquette was fully displayed, while everyone else was endlessly shocked. I laughed. The old master is a person of genuine temperament, able to afford to let go of things. This point makes me look at you with new eyes. Wu Tianchun said seriously. A real man must do what he says. Besides, I have somewhat of a status in Jiangnan. It's even more impossible for me to not keep my word. Little friend, from now on you are my, old Wu's, sworn brother of a different surname. If you have any difficulties in Jiangnan City, I will definitely fully support you. After saying this, Wu Tianchun left without looking back. I, on the other hand, looked disgusted, and said, this old guy wants to take advantage of me. I won't do it. He even wants to become sworn brothers. Susan snorted coldly. Do you think the president of the Jiangnan City Antique Association, someone with a net worth of over $1 billion, becoming sworn brothers with you is taking advantage of you? I asked back. Isn't it? Susan held her forehead. This absolute weirdo. I really don't know where he gets his confidence from. Then she said, follow me to the company to process your formal onboarding. Su Group is a well-known enterprise in Jiangnan City, and what people talk about with the most relish is Susan, this beautiful and pure female CEO. Intellectual and elegant, beautiful and generous. Mainly she is a real super rich woman. Just upon arriving at the group, Susan's secretary didn't look too well. She came forward and said, CEO, the chief executive over there wants you to go over immediately. Susan frowned. What happened? The secretary hesitated. It seems to be related to the Fong family. It's quite serious. You'd better go and see for yourself. Susan pointed at me and said, Yu Jie, arrange a position for him. After speaking, she left quickly. Right after she left, a group of people came aggressively, striding towards me here. Zhao Yujie was slightly nervous. Young Master Su, what's the matter? The person in the lead had a fierce look on his face, but dressed like a dog in human clothes. He had a cigarette dangling from his mouth, ignoring the no smoking sign nearby. Secretary Zhao, you don't need to care about this person. I will arrange a position for him. Secretary Zhao still wanted to say something. The other party's eyes turned cold, and said impatiently, my father is the chief executive of the group, the next successor of the Su family, and I am my father's only son. In the future, the entire Su group will be mine. Now can you step aside? His words and actions were very domineering. Secretary Zhao immediately dared not make a sound, sighing inwardly. This newcomer is done for. Being targeted by this demon king, he definitely won't have a good end. Su Jian is Susan's younger cousin, the youngest son of the Su group's chief executive Su Chong. He poked his finger directly at my chest and said, "You are the live-in son-in-law my second uncle's family recruited, right? Follow me. I'll arrange work for you." I shook my head and said, "But Susan said she would arrange it for me." Su Jian smiled playfully. "My older female cousin is a very busy person. Besides, this Su group belongs to our family. Whoever arranges it for you is the same. This young master is in charge of the entire group's security. From now on, you will just be a lackey under my command." After saying that, without allowing any explanation, he let his subordinates push and shove to take me away. Su Jian took out his mobile phone and called openly, "Sister, this dog bastard who lives off a woman has fallen into my hands. Weren't you insulted by him with a few words last time? Today I will make his skin split and flesh tear. Let him know what the rules are." On the other end, Su Chong's eldest daughter Su Xian laughed viciously. "Jian, go easy on him. At most just break his arms and legs. Don't go too far. That woman Susan isn't easy to deal with when she goes crazy." Su Jian hung up the phone, full of disdain. "A cheap breed who guards the gate for others. This young master can play with him however I want." He glanced at me and blew a mouthful of smoke in my face, saying, "Kid, later, as long as you kneel down and call me daddy 3 times, I will spare you. How about it?" I smiled. "Sure, but it depends on whether young master Su has that ability." Su Jian laughed wildly and said to the younger brothers under his command, "You guys heard it, right? This idiot asked me if I have the ability. Come. You guys tell him how great this young master's ability is." The younger brothers immediately followed with loud mocking laughter. In the Su group, our young master Su is the heaven and the earth. The chief executive is our young master Su's old man. The general manager is young master Su's biological sister. Several fierce dogs appeared in front, saliva dripping from their mouths, staring at me fiercely and roaring. Su Jian sat heavily on the lounge chair. "Kid, I'll give you one last chance. Either kneel down to this young master, call me daddy, and lick this young master's leather shoes, or this young master will cripple half your life today, letting you know what an intensely sour and thrilling feeling is." I spread my hands. "Young master Su, today is my first day on the job. To be honest, I don't want to cause trouble. How about we just forget it?" Su Jian's face darkened. He said viciously, "Dog thing, you previously insulted my sister Su Xian at Susan's house. Just based on this point, you cannot escape the death penalty. Besides, I'm not afraid to tell you, our family and Susan's family don't really get along. She wants to plant people into the group, but this young master just won't let her get what she wants." I raised my eyebrows and said, "Then there's nothing to talk about." Just as my words fell, I immediately kicked out. Without any warning, a burly and strong security guard immediately groaned and pitched forward headfirst. At this time, Su Jian roared wildly, "Beat him for me. If you beat him to death, this young master will take the blame." Damn it, he didn't expect that I would actually dare to fight back. Bang, bang, bang. My fists came out like dragons, dealing with such small fry. For me, it's just like using a butcher's knife to kill a chicken. In 2 or 3 moves, 7 or 8 of Su Jian's followers immediately wailed and fell to the ground, unable to get up again. Su Jian panicked all of a sudden, roaring and ordering the 2 fierce dogs to bite. The 2 vicious dogs immediately rushed towards me, but being swept by my gaze that was like a fierce tiger, the 2 vicious dogs immediately whimpered and became incontinent on the spot. In their eyes, the me in front of them was like a prehistoric desolate beast, full of a tyrannical and bloodthirsty aura. They didn't dare to get close at all. I squatted down and patted the 2 dog heads. "Good dogs." Su Jian's eyeballs almost fell out. "Little Black, Little Hua, bite him to death. Bite him to death for me." The 2 vicious dogs didn't listen to him at all. Instead, they wagged their tails happily at my feet. Su Jian stood up viciously. "Yi Yun, you wait for me. This young master will call people over right away. Let's see how many you can fight." My eyes turned cold. This idiot really needs a lesson. "Little Black, Little Hua, go. I'll treat you to eat balls." Then the 2 vicious dogs roared and directly pounced on Su Jian and knocked him down. The cursing Su Jian suddenly let out a shrill and miserable scream. Roll away for me, you 2 beasts." The blood color on his entire face was completely lost. The taste of pain reaching the extreme made his mind go completely blank. At his crotch, the 2 vicious dogs shook their heads and wagged their tails, biting crazily. I walked over, lying on the chair Su Jian originally lay on, and conveniently opened Fight the Landlord. On the other side, in the group's senior management office, Su Chong slapped the desk hard, pointing at Susan. "You should take a good look at the good deed you have done. The Fong family withdrew their connections. Our 20 million worth of goods were just detained like this. Such a huge loss. How will you explain it to the group? Susan had a face full of frost. Chief Executive, what do you mean by these words? The Fong family withdrew their connections. Our goods were detained. You don't go solve the problem, but come ask me how to explain it. Don't you feel it's a bit irrelevant? Su Chong snorted coldly. Susan, you know what I mean. You found an unpresentable little security guard and angered the Fong family. Now this is retribution. If this isn't your responsibility, could it possibly be mine? Susan said lightly. I don't think it's my responsibility. If the Fong family wants to withdraw their connections, then let them withdraw. Could it be that the Su group can't survive without the Fong family? Su Chong said angrily. Then you tell me how to solve it now. This batch of goods is worth fully over 20 million, but now it has fallen into the hands of the people in the East City. Without the Fong family's underworld connections, those desperados in the East City, do you think they will easily spit it out for us? I don't care what method you use. You must get the goods back for me. Otherwise I will submit it to the board of directors. When the old matriarch finds out at that time, Shan, what punishment do you think you, this good granddaughter, will receive? Susan looked icy cold, picked up her bag, turned around and left. The corners of Su Chong's mouth pulled into a curve of having victory in his grasp. He raised his legs and rested them on the office desk, very much having the style of a formidable person. Susan, you are still too young. Now you also found such a piece of trash and easily gave yourself away. From now on, you will no longer have any capital to fight with me, your eldest uncle. Just being smug for less than 2 seconds. His eldest daughter Su Xian rushed in with a panicked face. Dad, little Jian had an accident. Su Chong frowned, making such a fuss. What accident could he have? Su Xian wailed. Little Jian was bitten on his lower body by the 2 beasts he raised. Now he has already been sent to the hospital. Su Chong instantly bounced up from his chair, almost unable to stand steady. What did you say? Quick, take me to the hospital to see. His root of life is fine, right? I only have this one son. If the tool to carry on the family line is gone, then what's the point of me working so hard? Su Chong's tone of voice even changed, almost crying. The matter of Su Jian being taught a lesson. Susan also found out very quickly. She looked at me coldly. You actually dared to provoke this madman. Do you know that with the indulgence of Su Chong's family, Su Jian is the crown prince in the Su group? Hearing this, I said lightly. So what? The one who went to the hospital right now seems to be this crown prince. Not me. Susan only felt a headache. Yi Yun, I didn't expect you to cause such a huge disaster for me just after arriving. Although Su Jian is a coward, he is after all the son of the chief executive, and this bastard is deeply liked by the old matriarch. You injured him like this. Su Chong definitely won't let you off. I had a look of not taking it seriously, and said, don't worry, I didn't touch your family's crown prince a bit. Whether he lives or dies, he was bitten by the vicious dogs he raised. If his father wants revenge, he can go look for those 2 dogs. Susan couldn't find words to say for a moment. She knew I was playing mind games, but my words were indeed not wrong. The ones who crippled Su Jian were those 2 vicious dogs. I didn't make a move. It was just my constantly composed appearance that made her grit her teeth somewhat. Wherever this bastard goes, he seems to fear neither heaven nor earth. At this time, only a clear and cold voice was heard sounding. He is just a jumping clown, playing mind games with the chief executive's whole family. I can only say, CO, this kid is not far from death.